you get fucked up. I mean, especially you have a drunk dad coming home. He just fuck you up just to fuck you up, you know what I mean?
Do you eventually tell him what you were doing, or does he forever think you were sniffing the alcohol?
Oh, no, I ain't bothered to fucking deal with that, you know what I mean? I know I slapped that fucking fool around a couple of times later on when I grew up. I didn't tell him why. But that's just the way it is sometimes, you know what I mean? It comes around. It goes around, comes around.
How was it growing up with a tough father like that?
Well, like I said, he wasn't there. He took off. So it was great because I had to deal with his drunken bullshit, you know what I mean? And I would just take off. I would travel pretty much all city, you know?
Were you happy when you finally left?
You know, my mom was really sad and she took it back, so I wasn't happy for her sake, but for me, it didn't matter, you know what I mean? At that point, I was used to, you know, governing myself, you know? At a young age, I was pretty much governing myself.
Dr. Toombs, you're also known for being a quite tall person. How tall are you?
I'm 6'4", just like my car.
Were you always the tallest kid at school?
Yeah, I think so. I think I was, you know, I think a lot of the beefs I've gotten and the trouble I've gotten is because my younger friends would always run behind me and, you know, I would defend them. You know, I was kind of built like a defender, you know what I mean? Like I was always backing up my friends. A lot of beef, it wasn't really because I started it, because I went on there after it, you know what I mean? It was more of defending people around me, and you just have to roll with it sometimes, you know what I mean?
Are your parents really tall? Where does that height come from?
My father's tall. He was born in Hermosillo, Sonora.
Is it a fact that people from that area in Mexico are known to be taller?
You know, Tucson, Arizona, Texas, border areas. So yeah, you know, there's some tall, you know. We all come from colonizers, you know what I mean? Like we speak Spanish because, you know, our ancestors got colonized by the Spanish and shit, you know, so it's all in our blood.
Growing up, would people always try to get you to play basketball or assume you're into basketball?
Yeah, no, a lot of people wanted me to play football or stuff like that because I was a big kid, you know what I mean? But I wasn't interested in sports. I was interested in graffiti, and everything else took a second, you know.
Being tall and a graffiti writer, wasn't it tough not getting spotted?
Well, you know, you just gotta be smart about it. You gotta be slick about it. I think back in the days, and you know, being tall is good because you get the high spots. And when cars drive by, they can see the spot if it's taller, you know? So not only you have foot traffic looking at your tags, but you also have the cars driving by seeing your tags. You know, I've always seen people tag real low, and I pictured that they were either a midget or they were scared. And I'm like, why are you paying so low? I would always try to get the highest, you know, point possible so you can see it from the streets and everything else, you know.
Dr. Toombs, you mentioned as a young kid, you're seeing gang graffiti all over the streets. Is this when you take an interest in graffiti yourself, or is there another key moment that happens in your life that sparks that interest?
No, that was it. I remember watching this show called the Arsenio Hall Show, and you know, it used to air pretty late. And oh, you know what? As a matter of fact, I was watching a KRS-One video called My Philosophy, and in the video, you see a writer, and I think it's KRS writing, "Rest in Peace, Scott LaRock." And the flares of the can and how it looked, it just was a lot of style, and that just pumped me up. So after watching that show, I jumped out of my room window, went to the garage and grabbed some cans. And my dad had, because he was a welder and you know, he would paint the metal. And I took a walk, you know, down the streets and started catching tags.
What do you write at that time? You don't have the name TOOMER or T-Lokes. What are you writing?
I think I was, goddamn, what was I writing back then? I think it was like T, because, you know, I have a last name with a T on it. And then, you know, I started seeing a lot of ERs back then at the end of everybody's names. Like everybody had a name, they put ER at the end of it back then, you know? So I was like, you know, I like Toombs. And Zoom was already taken at the time, so I was like, I like Toombs. TOOMER. But really, that name came from my mom. Like I was hanging out with my friends in front of my porch, and we were playing some hip hop, and she just came from work, and she's like, "Oh, you give me a headache that music gave me a headache like a tumor." And all my friends started laughing, like, you call you tumor, you're a tumor. So it just stuck to me, you know?
What was it about the name Toomer that you liked?
Well, the same thing. First, because all my friends were calling me that, because, my mom made fun of me in front of them. And two, because of the ER at the end. Like I said, a lot of writers back then would always put ER at the end of their names, or ism, stuff like that. But ER was pretty prevalent back there of people putting that at the end of their name.
Did any of your friends try to talk you out of using the name Toomer, like a bad karma or something?
No, I was always almost like the peer, you know? Nobody was going to talk me out of anything. If anything, I was going to talk them into something.
Why was your house full of all your friends? Would all of you get together, or what?
Well, here's the thing. At that time in LA, if you went to the park, they were going to whoop your ass and make you join a gang. So the safest part, for being, in junior high or whatever, would be your house. And since my mom was at work and nobody was there, we would all hang out there. And then my mom would show up and be like, no. I didn't come move over here so you guys could be hanging out here and all the neighbors going to look like, you guys look like a gang. Go to the park. Now,